So again, I want to let me welcome everyone to today's Expanding College Opportunity speaker series. I appreciate your patience as we work through this technical difficulty, but these things happen, and my apology for the delay. But you're in for a treat because we have such a distinguished guest this evening. That guest being Dr. Cornell McGee. So in the interest of time, I want to just go ahead and just dive into our conversation. I want to thank you all who sent in questions. I've tried to incorporate your questions into really the list of questions that I have, and I will kind of go through the list. So if you see me sort of looking down, you'll know why. I want to make sure that I can get in as much of your questions and my questions as possible. That being said, I want to turn the mic, so to speak, over to Dr. McGee. I say turn the mic over. I'm a little bit frustrated with the mic tonight, so I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I can trust the mic at this point. Nonetheless, Dr. McGee, welcome, and thank you for being with us and for taking your time to be here today. I just want to ask you, if you wouldn't mind, in your own words, to take 2 or 3 minutes to introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Dr. Cornell McGee. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army. I'm currently serving as the director of junior ROTC programs for the Houston Independent School District. In that capacity, I supervise the military aspects of the program at 24 high schools and 6 middle schools. And we have approximately 5,000 cadets who are enrolled in our program. And I have been serving in this position since 2007. And it's been a tremendous opportunity to give back to the community and to help young people achieve their dreams and desires.
Thank you for that introduction. I must say that sort of, I look at your bio and I compare it to what you just said, and I say, wow, that's just a snippet of all the accomplishments and things that you have done in your life. I wanted to start with really a very basic and direct kind of question, and that is, what is the Junior Reserve Officers Training School, better known as the Junior ROTC, for those folks that are just not familiar?
Really, right now, it's the premier leadership and citizenship development program in the United States for high school students. It was originally founded in 1916, and in that capacity, it was designed to recruit soldiers in the military, to bring soldiers into the military right after high school. This was right before World War I, so this was a way to get soldiers into the military. But that's changed over the years, and we've done a significant amount of work to transition from training young people to join the military into developing their leadership skills, their conflict resolution skills, and their ability to make decisions concerning their futures, be it college or career.
It's interesting that and I want to dive in a little bit more to really unpack some of the things that you shared there about the Junior ROTC. But I do want to make the observation that you've had an extensive career in the military, and you have, for whatever reason, decided to work in the public education arena. What was the motivation and sort of for you to make that career move?
Well, I'm kind of fortunate in that I'm the son of a career Army officer who served 22 years, and after he retired from the military, he taught junior ROTC for 12 years in North Carolina. And we talked frequently about the different things that he did to bring change into the lives of his students. And he just went above and beyond. So my original thought was to go back and work in the Pentagon as a contractor, where the money is much better than public education. But as we began to look at it, there was a need. There's a need for dedicated teachers to take the time and give back all the different things that they've learned to the community, and that's what I decided to do. When I decided to retire, out of the blue, I got a call from somebody from the Houston School District and said, "Hey, we have a school that's available if you're interested." So talked it over with the wife, and next thing you know, we were moving to Texas, and I was teaching high school junior ROTC. So like you said, most people don't teach for the money. Like most teachers, we think we're overworked and underpaid, but just the things that I've been able to see working with young people and seeing them grow and to go to college, get married, have kids, and to achieve their dreams, that's been a tremendous reward for me, just to be able to see that and witness that.
I noticed, I took particular note to your introduction of the junior ROTC as you described it as the nation's premier leadership development organization. And I think you used another adjective to describe it as well. That's a bold statement. What and not that I disagree with that, but you make the assertion. What leads you to even describe it in such a way?
You figure that currently there's 1,700 Army programs in the continental U.S. And Hawaii, Japan, Korea, and Germany, all at American high schools. And there's over 350 school districts nationwide who have prepared an application to have a program established at their school. But there's a way, our numbers are capped. The number of programs are capped by Congress. So we're taking steps. The Army is taking steps to get congressional approval to move into those school districts and schools where people want the program. And as I, analyze, that desire, you just don't see that happening with other programs. What we do in terms of developing the whole student, we like to use the term scholar, athlete, leader. Nobody can do what we do, and that's due to a world-class curriculum and instructors who are dedicated to teaching young people. And as opposed to a regular teacher or a core teacher, our instructors come to junior ROTC with over 20 years of experience in leading soldiers and civilians through many different types of operations and things. So that experience works well. It plays well within the school and school system, and generally superintendents and principals are extremely grateful for the task and the things that our instructors do in the school.
Is a junior ROTC, is it a program just for public schools, or is it, do private schools sort of have programs?
Currently, right now it's public schools. There are some in the West. There's a couple of high school type correctional facilities where junior ROTC is in operation, and that's an attempt to give those kids something that the structure that they can't get in a normal situation. But that's only like 3 or 4 schools. There has been an attempt by some private schools and mostly charter schools, to establish programs on their campuses. But right now, due to congressional mandates, it's only located in public schools.
Dr. McGee, can you share a profile of the student that actually chooses to sign up and to become a part of the junior ROTC?
Yeah, it's a good question. The average, if there is an average student that comes into the program, it's a student who may not, belong to. They may not be a cheerleader. They may not be on the basketball team or football team, or they may not have an interest in band or drama, but they need a place to belong. And this program provides them that opportunity to belong to a group of students who need that opportunity to express themselves. And they express themselves through the various events and activities that are inherent, that are organic to the program. So it's normally a student that wants to belong, who wants to work on developing their internal characteristics that will enable them to be successful at high school, at colleges, or careers.
Just so that I, and perhaps even some members of our audience are clear, when you described, I sort of have a psychographic profile of a student, and you said some students that maybe are looking for a group to belong to and to develop their leadership skills and so on. But am I correct in assuming that a person, I can, for example, be on the basketball team and at the same time participate in the junior ROTC? Is that a correct assumption?
Yes. At most schools across the country, students receive PE credit for being in junior ROTC, just like band or athletics. But we still have students who are on the basketball team or football team who can take junior ROTC as an elective. And one of the things that we found is that mainly the leadership aspect of the program enables them to be accepted into colleges at a higher rate than their peers, because of them learning the leadership aspects. They know how to lead, they know how to follow, they know how to solve conflicts, resolve conflicts. So that tends to make them more attractive than their peers when they're joining or when they're applying for colleges or work.
And in terms of maybe the age/grade profile, at what level do students sign on?
The majority of students sign on their freshman year in high school. We have a program where it's expected that a high school program will go recruit to their feeder middle schools, and they'll go and talk about the program. Students will, led by the students, students will actually go with their instructor to a middle school, talk to 8th graders in the spring semester of their 8th grade year, and explain to them what the program is about, what are the benefits, and that's the primary recruitment vehicle for getting students in their 9th grade. The others come into the program in their 10th, 11th, or 12th year when they need, an elective to graduate. And a lot of the counselors will tell them that this is a beneficial course for them to take, no matter what their career aspirations are. So we do get students in their 10th, 11th, and 12th year, but most of them come in their 9th grade year.
And if a student does want to become a member of the junior ROTC, like what specifically are the steps to do that? And is there a cost?
The steps are, it's fairly easy to get with the counselor or whoever is enrolling kids in the program and tell them that you want to be in the program. It's really that simple at almost every high school. It is that simple for my high schools, but in talking to my peers nationwide, it's also a fairly easy process. Just make your desires known and sign up, and you'll be enrolled. There is no cost for anything for being in the program. Uniforms are issued free of charge. The only requirement is that you keep them clean, launder them as needed, but you don't pay for socks, you don't pay for shoes, you don't pay for shirts, pants, and the ribbons that kids wear in the program, they're yours to keep. So for everything that you get, most everything is provided by the U.S. government.
Fantastic. And again, I want to make sure that people, some of them don't walk away with sort of the basic questions that have gone unanswered, but I'm assuming that junior ROTC is for both boys and girls. Correct assumption?
Absolutely. What we found is that in my school district, the program is 55% female and 45% male. So it's an interesting dynamic that the young ladies feel that this is a fair and impartial way for them to take charge, and they're rewarded for their achievements. So without any bias. So for them, it is an extremely attractive option to demonstrate that they're capable of holding their own amongst anybody.
Mm-hmm. So I'm imagining myself putting I'm going to put on my parent hat for a moment, and I, for example, may want to sit down with Johnny or Susie, and I'm thinking, parent, hey, this would be great long-term leadership skills. This would look great on your college applications. And little Johnny or Susie, inevitably, I think will look at me and say, Dad, and I'll say, yes. What exactly am I going to do in the junior ROTC? And so I'm going to say, what?
The activities that are available to young people in our program, that's a huge selling point. And that's one of the things I stress with a new instructor. When I hire a new instructor, I say, as long as you keep fingers busy, you keep kids interested in the program and doing the activities, those kids don't want to leave. And I'm talking about, we have competitions in many different forms. There's drill team competitions. There's color guard competitions. There's physical fitness competitions. There's summer camps. Every year in our district, we take 300 kids to a summer camp out of town, and they stay for a week free of charge. One of the programs that I'm extremely ecstatic to be a part of, it's called the Junior ROTC Leadership and Academic Bowl. And that's a 4-person team, and it's a 3-round competition. First round is computer-based, like Jeopardy. It's a computer. One is on leadership, the leadership of George Marshall, Colin Powell, and Dwight Eisenhower. And the other is the Academic Bowl. And the Academic Bowl is a competition not unlike Jeopardy. and teams or schools that make it all the way to the finals get an all expense paid trip to go to Washington D.C. and compete with their teams, with other teams from all around the nation. So we're fortunate this year that we have 2 teams that will be going to Washington D.C. to compete. So it's, the program attracts those that are into the physical aspects of drill and ceremonies and physical fitness. It also appeals to the academics who like doing things on the computer. So the program continues to evolve to be attractive to the current students. We know that we can't continue to do the things that were done 30 years ago or when I was in high school, and it was predominantly marching and doing those sorts of things. So we try to remain relevant to the needs of the current students.
How do if a student goes joins junior ROTC and sort of participates over maybe perhaps from 9th through 12th grade, I mean, how do you measure the success of your program?
That's one of the things that the Department of Defense requires us to keep track of and send results in annually. So we survey the students to see, what's your, primarily in 3 areas: attendance, behavioral indicators, and grades, academics. So every year we provide a summary of those different areas and roll it up as a school and send it to the Army, and the Army sends it to the Department of Defense. And that's how they track the success of our programs. And what we have found is that, the national statistics are that we are ahead of the general school population by at least 3 percentage points in attendance, by at least 9 percentage points in those students that graduate from high school on time, and at least twice, our students are twice as likely not to get in trouble or drop out, and they have a 0.5% advantage or higher GPA than the general school population. So all of our indicators that we're tracking indicate that our program is a tremendous success in helping students not only achieve their desires and goals, but also to graduate on time with higher indicators than the normal school population.
I mean, I find your report card, so to speak, to be outstanding, and really, I think a true testament to the benefit and value of the junior ROTC. And I am thinking about this program. I called it this panel is titled "Why It's Beneficial for Your Child to Join a Junior ROTC, the Best Kept Secret." And I think you've very eloquently just laid that out. I mean, those statistics are just, that's just tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at your student he's on the football team, they're going to get the athletic mentoring that they will from a coach, and there might be some leadership that's taught by coaches, but they don't get the problem solving, conflict resolution, the scholastic counseling and advice that they would from a junior ROTC instructor. And that could be said for any sports team or any other club or activity. We consider ourselves to be a comprehensive program that addresses all the needs and requirements that a student would have to go forward. And that's why I say it's the premier leadership and citizenship development program in the country, because no single other course does what we do comprehensively.
Your comment there makes me think about the instructors and really who these individuals are that specifically are having such an impact and influence on students. Can you share with our audience your just information about the instructors? Who are these people? What do they bring to the table?
Yeah, your a typical profile of an instructor is that, you know, they've done an officer or somebody who's been to college and has a commission as an officer. After they graduate from high school, they go into the military. They serve for 20 years, and they come out, you know, around the age of 45, 46, and they've been responsible for groups of anywhere from 50 to 750 people under stressful situations. Your average soldier who went into the military right after high school, they maybe come in at the age of 38 to 40 years. And they've got likewise a different skill set, but they've also been in charge of solving problems and leading people through in difficult situations. And so you pair the two of them together, and that team, that instructor team, becomes the comprehensive teacher, mother, father, coach, leader to develop their students into to you know, maximize their full potential. Given their experiences in the military, in the Army, you know, they've led soldiers under duressful situations, had to make some tough calls, and so a lot of that carries over to the young people. And what we find is that they become surrogate parents for a lot of our kids, and taking a lot of time talking to young people about the things that they need to do to improve in themselves and to move forward. And that's, you know, I say a surrogate parent. We're not taking the place of a mother or father or a guardian, but we consider ourselves to be enhancers, you know, reinforcing the things that they've learned at home, and giving them real world examples of why it's beneficial to go down a certain road. And that's the main difference between us and a core teacher. You know, a core teacher generally comes into the classroom, you know, right out of college. And they don't have the experiences that a junior ROTC instructor has. So that's a tremendous selling point to a principal at a high school. And frequently, our instructors are used as model instructors or teacher coaches for other teachers on campus.
Wow, that's terrific. What kind of, you know, I think about even teacher training, and I get what you said about, you know, what the instructors bring to the table or to their position from day one. But in terms of just ongoing training and adapting to a multicultural, multilingual classroom or cadet environment, can you speak to what happens there?
Yeah, they regardless of the military service, they go through a pre-certification and a certification process. The pre-certification, they're required to take 5 different courses that a normal teacher would take. You know, classroom management, conflict resolution, educational psychology, learning in the brain. Some of the courses that a core teacher would take in a traditional college teacher prep program. Mm-hmm. And once they've completed those, they're required to go to the national headquarters of the military service that supervises junior ROTC programs. And they stay for a week or 2 weeks, and they get hands-on classroom instruction from the national office on all the things that are encompassed in a junior ROTC program. How do they manage the systems of ordering equipment, keeping track of the equipment that they have, and doing those sorts of things. So they do those sorts of things, and then they're actually certified. And then they're required to take classes or go to seminars throughout the year, both at the local level and over the national level, to remain current in their instruction. And then every 5 years they go back to the national headquarters to get re-greened, if you will, to learn the new systems and programs that are in place. So it's a continual learning program, a continuous improvement process to keep our instructors current and to ensure that they have the best methods of instruction to get kids ready for school.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people have misperceptions and conceptions of the junior ROTC. And it's just for whatever reason. So I would like to almost use this time as a moment where we can just blow up all these sort of wild notions that one might have of you, Dr. McGee, leading kids up hills and running and jumping. I mean, doing all kinds of things, like maybe things you see in the movie. So really the question is, what are some of the myths that you have heard as it relates to the junior ROTC? Can you just, whatever comes to mind, can you share things that you hear and clarify?
Yeah, that's we deal with that the first part of every semester, and as we're talking with students and even school board members and principals, because they don't have a very good picture of. A lot of them don't have a good picture or idea of what the program does. One of the things that I get asked frequently is, "Are you recruiting for the military? Do my kids incur an obligation for the military when they enroll in junior ROTC?" And the answer is no. It's a regular high school class. They get graduation credit by joining the program. Military service obligation. Our purpose is not to recruit. There's a separate Army command or service command that recruits people, but we're not in the recruitment business. Another thing I get asked is do you teach kids how to prepare for war, or do you teach tactics? And the answer is definitely no. Yeah, I get some folks that, because at times kids are wearing camouflage uniforms to different activities when they're doing outdoor activities, because, that's a good uniform that, lends itself to being outdoors, as opposed to the daily uniform that's something like I'm wearing now. So when some teachers or people see that, they say, are you teaching them how to go to war? And the answer is no. We're actually prohibited from teaching anything related to tactics. Now, that's one of the fastest ways an instructor can lose their certification, is teaching tactics to young people. We can't even do laser tag or paintball because as an organization, because that's considered to be tactics. So I get kids that would love to do it as a sport, and I said no, we're prohibited from doing that. Other parents ask if if there's a cost to joining. No, there's no cost for a student getting in the program. So those are the big three that we get asked. Students only wear the uniform one day a week. So it's, in most of our schools, they're not wearing it every day. But those are the biggest questions we get asked.
Okay. That's helpful. It really is. I mean, a lot of times just based off my own experience, I have, I would see some students, the color guard basically, and that's kind of been the image of the junior ROTC, and just kind of I wondered, uh, well, what is this all about, really? And um, the benefits are amazing. I mean, and maybe we can sort of boil it down to when I mention the benefits I say the benefits are amazing. If you had 2 or 3 minutes with a parent and you just really were wanting to communicate the bottom line, how this is going to help with your student, particularly a lot of parents they may be thinking about college and college admissions, and you've already said, hey, it helps with college, but can you expound on that a little bit to make it clear, basically?
Yeah, the easiest way, I guess, is to cover the different things that they learn by grade level. When a student comes into junior RTC as a freshman, they're going to learn how to be a part of a team, how to go through a decision-making process. They're going to learn about health and fitness. They're going to learn about service learning, which is community service tied with a reflection. So they will go out as part of a team, and they will decide on a service project that they want to perform as a team. And they will come up with a plan amongst themselves. The instructors will take them out in the community to execute the plan. And then when they come back, they will discuss what they've learned in doing this plan. So primarily, this is a student-led program. Each year you get more responsibility. So ultimately, the students who are in their 4th year of junior RTC are leading their peers or leading other students through the process of our coursework. And so this is one of the things that's not done in any other program, where the seniors are guiding lower class students through the learning objectives and through the process. We teach first aid, we teach financial responsibility, citizenship, all the different things that are required of being a good citizen in the United States, from voting and serving in positions of responsibility. And finally, they experience the things that they've learned throughout the community. So this is experiential learning. This is not a lecture where the instructor stands in the front of the program and in front of the classroom and speaks the whole time. Students are required to teach different classes. They're required to teach their peers. So it's that experiential learning component that helps that student develop themselves in a holistic manner that they're not going to get in any other high school class.
Oh yeah, it just sounds amazing, and I'm wondering, like, what do you think the issue is or barrier? I mean, I would think people would be, banging down your door trying to if you're a parent, have to get your kid, your student in the junior ROTC. But I don't know. While your numbers are impressive, I don't sense that that's the case. What do you attribute to that?
It's at the parent level. A lot of them are apprehensive because they still believe that we're recruiting for the military. At the student level, a lot of students don't want to wear the uniform. There's grooming standards where you have to adorn you have to be groomed, you have to shave. You're not actually required to cut your hair, but your hair has to be off the ears and off the collar, those sorts of things. And a lot of students don't want to do that. Peer pressure keeps a lot of students out. But from a parent perspective, A lot of parents think that we're recruiting for the military. And in the greater Houston area, there's a number of undocumented students enrolled in the campuses that are apprehensive of joining a program that's funded by the government. So we spend a lot of time talking through that, it's just another high school course, and here are the benefits for you joining the program. So those are the two main areas that obstacles that we have to overcome. With from the uniform aspect, we tell them that I don't care if you're going to graduate from high school and going to go work somewhere, you're going to have to wear a uniform, whether it's McDonald's or Chick-fil-A. But there's a dress code in every major field of employment. So if you can get over that, we teach you how to do those things, and you make yourself more attractive to an employer. When I look at my numbers throughout our district that have been fairly consistent over almost 20 years, 86% of the students that stay in junior ROTC for 4 years graduate from high school and go on to college or to a technical school. 6% join the military, and the remainder go into the employment, go into whatever their chosen field of employment is. So generally speaking, those students that stay in our program go on to college or to a technical school to learn a trade. So we're very happy with those statistics. So that's the main selling point for a parent. If you want your kid to be successful after high school, this is a great starting place for them to begin their search.
Wow, that's terrific. Well, I know that we lost a few minutes at the top of of our conversation, but we're just I don't want to go over our time, and we're just about out of time. The information that you shared, Dr. McGee, has been terrific, and certainly if I continue to learn more about the junior ROTC as I listen to you and read and learn. So maybe as a really kind of a wrap up, let me ask you kind of an open-ended question of how, if you have any advice or closing thoughts or key takeaways for our audience that you would like to leave. It really is an open forum for you to share whatever might be on your mind beyond what you've already shared. So I turn the mic over to you.
Well, I think the biggest thing is we look at one of the things that impresses me, continues to impress me, is the relationship our students have with their instructors, which tells me that we're doing the right thing. I had an instructor who retired several years ago, but he had a young lady in his program who told him, he said, she was Hispanic, and he's African American. And she came to him and told him, you are the most important male figure that I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And I'd be honored for you to walk me down the aisle at my wedding in the next couple of months. And he walked her down the aisle at her wedding. She's now a high school principal in our school district. When I go to retirement dinners, when instructors retire, there's 20 or 30 of their former students attending the dinner with their kids to give testimonies to how that instructor helped prepare them for life. In my own life, My father passed away in 2012. A week after the funeral, 2 of his former students came to the house unannounced. They had just recently returned from serving in Iraq, and they got promoted, and they came back and they wanted to share with them how they got, that they had been promoted and how well that they are doing. And it broke their heart that my mom had to tell them that he had passed away. But they hadn't been in his classroom in over 20 years. But they just decided to stop by the house and share how much they appreciated what he had done for them when they were in high school. So that's the kind of impact that we're making with young people. Those are the things that keep me excited for doing what I'm doing in developing teachers to develop students. So if we can make a difference in at least one student's life per high school, this program has been successful, because the multiplicity effect, that student will affect other students, and it just keeps growing. So that's the strength of the program. That's how our country will continue to improve, is by making a difference in the lives of the students that we touch.
Wow, those stories are very powerful that you shared. Well, we are out of time, and I do want to just take this moment to thank you, Dr. McGee, for all that you do for so many, and for giving of your time this evening for this program. It's your thoughts, your insights have been terrific, and I just am personally really very appreciative. And so, thank you.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity. Really, thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. The junior ROTC, I'm like the new convert. I think it's fantastic, and I really want families to know about junior ROTC. And so we at thesecrettowriting.com, we'll talk about it. We'll share this video, and hopefully you'll have more students knocking at your door. So and so on that note, to our audience, I want to thank you for joining us today. I appreciate your time, your interest in our program this evening. We have other programs coming up. I invite you to continue to look at the secrettowriting.com website. If you go to the Expanding College Opportunity Speaker Series page, you'll see a list of both past and upcoming events. And with that being said, I want to wish everyone a terrific evening, and thank you again. Good night.
Thank you.